the Great Muslim American Experiment. Among the immigrant students who came, some to get their bachelor's degrees, but many for masters and PhDs, MDs, were students who came from Egypt and India and nearby countries, who were greatly influenced by Islamic revivalist movements from the 1930s to the 1960s. These revivalist movements saw Islam as a complete way of life. So Islam shouldn't only be a religion that you practice on Fridays with your fellow worshippers at the mosque. It shouldn't just be something that you practice in your individual life, a way of worshiping God, a way of living an ethical life, but rather it should influence and be the center of not just your personal religion, but your social life. Should be the base of ethics in your economic life or business life, as well as should form the basis of political life. These immigrant graduate students also feared that many of the Muslims immigrating to this country were getting absorbed in the Christian and or secular way of life here, and were losing their religious practice, losing their religious faith, and so they formed religious organizations in which an Islamic identity could be propagated, could be preserved, and could be developed within this country. And so some of the early Muslim organizations, first the Muslim Student Association, which was centered on different university campuses and became a national organization in 1963, and then later this national organization formed itself and became an organization not just based in the universities but could influence Muslim life in all stages: family life, business, and professional life. And this organization in the 1980s became the larger Islamic Society of North America. These founders of these organizations were very much influenced by Islam as a complete way of life, sort of ideology or ideal. These Muslims who found these organizations recognize the opportunity that lays in the United States of America to not just preserve their Muslim identity, but practice their faith freely and to form Islamic organizations freely, whereas in their home countries in Egypt, in Pakistan, sometimes India, many of these Islamic revivalist organizations were persecuted politically because the national governments feared that these organizations were coming for their jobs, coming to lead governments within these countries itself. These founders of these Muslim organizations also see an opportunity and a challenge to make Islam the unifying force within America that it is intended to be. So they see Islam as a way of life, as a faith that should transcend religious differences, that should transcend racial and ethnic differences. So whether the Muslim comes from South Asian countries or Indonesian countries or Arab countries, should bring all these people together into one faith, whether one has Shiite background or Sunni background or have Sufi disposition in their faith. All these people should come together in the unifying force Islam is intended to be, to form a strong Muslim community in the United States. The founders of these organizations wish to develop pious and ethical communities that in turn improves the broader America towards a life of goodness and God consciousness. So they don't see so much as they're overthrowing the political and social and economic structure of this country, but adding their own values into the mix, many of which are very similar to Jewish, Christian, sometimes Buddhist and Hindu values in this country, in which a standard of integrity, of trustworthiness, of truthfulness, of compassion, of generosity, of charity is applied in one's daily life, of kind of a conservative value in one's sexual and gender dealings with oneself and the other. These are all going to be applied to improve the broader society, rather than to throw out the baby in the bathwater. Rather, help the baby get clean and grow and be good in clean bathwater.